Here are 3 unsurprising facts about you. You are alive right now. You are conscious of your experience of life. You think, and likely you think more than you need to. Now, I'd like to talk about 3 surprising facts, and I'll be very, very surprised if at least one of the following facts about you doesn't surprise. Facts about what you really want, for example, facts about who you're really trying to please as a people pleaser, and facts about what you're really battling against in this game called life. This is Sonderlust with Steve M. Nash, offering an uncommon perspective on the human being experience, an invitation for you and I to blame and shame less and to listen more, and to see what comes from doing that. Episode 9, Facts or Fictions. The provocative one with 3 surprising facts about you. Quote, "The art of pleasing consists in being pleased." William Hazlitt. Fact 1. You are your only enemy. There is only you. So, you've heard that expression, you are your own worst enemy. Well, fact is, it's true. You are. You really are your own worst enemy. Not only that, you are your only enemy. You being your own worst enemy probably doesn't surprise you. Not if you're at least a little bit self-aware. If it does surprise you, please go to smnash.com and search for Own Worst Enemy. Deep down, I think that you can see that no matter how much you think it's what others say that's holding you back, or what that person did to you that's holding you back, or if you think it's the success of others that's holding you back, it's still you where the problem lies. Deep down, you've probably seen that it's you, really, who's holding you back. It's you who's getting in the way all the time. It's you who seems bothered by how things turn out. The thing that's really surprising, though, is this. There is only you. Your experiences of life, your experiences of other, your experiences of the news, etc. Your feelings, your thinking, you. There's just you, for you, and there's just me, for me. And so it goes that you are the only enemy for you, and you are the only solution too. Does that not surprise you? And so everything else merely exists inside your experience of you. To remind you of this, there's only you. A you identified with ego and a you not identified with it. Just you, enemy, saviour, and the eternal illusory battle. And so, fact 2. The only person you're ever people-pleasing is you. I say this as a recovering people-pleaser now, and I am surprised at this turn of events, I can assure you. Of course, if there is only me, then people-pleasing has to be some sort of me management, doesn't it? Some sort of wanting to control my experience. But let's pretend for a moment that there's a world of you, me, and everyone else out there, shall we? And let's pretend that you have yet to read my people-pleasing blog post on smnash.com. So, have you ever noticed what's really going on when you're engaged in people-pleasing? You know, when you keep quiet and don't speak out, when you resist what you know to be true for you, when you seemingly put other people's feelings ahead of your own. Have you ever noticed what's actually going on here? You're engaged in a form of wanting to control. You're attempting to manage your experience of life, to avoid conflict, to avoid disagreement, to avoid anything that you think is unpleasant. In short, you're attempting to please yourself, and only that, because if you didn't care about your experiences of life, or that person's experience of you, or if you fully understood it for what it was, inside out generated, you certainly wouldn't put anywhere near as much energy into managing other people's experiences. But, as I've already said, there is only you. So, people-pleasing de facto has to be you-pleasing. Surely that surprises you, no? Which leads me nicely to fact 3. You don't want what you think you want. You're not who you think you are. Now, I don't know exactly what it is that you think you want. I will give you that. So please take a moment now to give consideration to what it is that you really want right now. More money? A great relationship? A successful, thriving business? To be healthy again? To have a much happier or different past even? I've got news for you. And here comes the third surprise. You don't want X, whatever you think X is. You want the feeling you'll get when you have X. Pause on that one for a moment. Example. You don't want that fantastic man in your life, or sexy woman, or amazing person, or all three. You actually want the feeling you think you'll have when they're in your life. You don't want to be healthy again, for example. You just want a life where you're not worrying about your health. Same goes for that life-changing career opportunity, or finally getting recognition, or achieving success. You actually want the feeling that you think comes from the things that you want. Do you get me here? And does that not surprise you? This is subtle, but important, to say the least. Because, and here's another surprising fact for you, what happens and the feeling you get from what happens, they're just not the same. What happens is out of your control, really. But the feeling you get from what happens, well, that's you. That comes from you. Yes, the good news here is that feeling, that's you that is, that feeling is already there just waiting for you to notice it, to relax into it, to allow it, and completely independent of circumstance or situation too. I call this feeling innate health, or innate happiness, or happiness now, but it could also go by the name of enlightenment, or being free of your ego. It could also be what you experience of life, minus the thinking about what you experience. Or an unconditional life. The Sonderlust Challenge. Before I leave you, here's a little something for you to ponder on during your week. Can you remember the last time you obviously people-pleased someone, or they did it to you? So you didn't speak up, you said yes when you wanted to say no, or you laughed when it wasn't funny, or they did this to you. Can you see now that you were really pleasing yourself, or they were really pleasing themselves? You have been listening to Sonderlust with Steve M. Nash, all the way to the end. Thank you. For more about this podcast, and to join the Sonderlust mailing list, please visit stevemnash.com/podcast.